Hey y'all, and welcome to the Southland Piper. I'm your host Tim. Hope you're doing well today. I have this Weber scoop that's got a little bit of a problem, so let's turn around to the workbench and get started. All right, let's take a look at the pipe. Well, here's the issue. The major issue is I've got a break at the top of the button and a break on the bottom of the button. And these repairs can be difficult to last because if you got somebody that's a clincher, that could be a problem. I'm not much of a clincher, and this is going to be my pipe, so shouldn't be an issue. But I'll use some. This is a vulcanite stem, so I'll use the G Flex to repair it. And just as the name says, flex, it will flex a little bit. So hopefully that repair will be durable for several years to come. Let's take a look at the rest. I mean, the condition, we've got several little dings and nicks. I don't know how well you can see them, but so we got some of those. It's a nice flat bottom, so it's a nice sitter. Got some carbon up on the rim. Doesn't look terribly bad or anything, so that shouldn't be a real issue. The bowl looks like it's been ringed regularly anyway. It's got a little bit of carbon. The stem is very, very tight. Let's see if I can get it out without breaking it. Probably should have put it in the refrigerator. All right, there we go. Still got a nice figure 8 down at the bottom. So that looks good. The stem, well, let's say I'm going to keep it. Let me make sure. It needs to be around 10 millimeters to convert to a 9 millimeter filter, and I got 10.8, so we're good there. And I got to be real careful with this top and bottom when I go to convert. You can cut through if you're not being careful, so I've got to watch that. The ones that are sloped on the sides, you've got some room for error, but these that are pretty much squared up, you don't have much room for error on those. Oxidation really isn't bad at all. Do I want to put it in the oxidation cleaner? Not really. I don't see. I'll drop it in there. Might as well. That way I won't have to sand it. So, all right, let's get started. All right, the stem has been dropped in the oxidation cleaner, so let's finish reaming this pipe out. Got very little in it, so shouldn't take long. Bowl looks really good. No problems. All right, cool. Let's get some pipe cleaners and we'll clean that stummel. Let's see how dirty we are. It's all right. Not terrible, that's for sure. All right, let me get this shank finished up and then we'll move on to the next part. Let's put some briar cleaner on this stummel. You can see all these little scratches and such. But the stummel's not in that bad a condition. Now, it's been hit quite a bit, banged quite a bit on this rim. But a little sanding will take all this stuff out. Going to use the before and after briar cleaner. There's the web address. Let's go back out a little bit. This briar cleaner does a really nice job. I guess you could sit there and say, well, if you're going to sand it all the way down, why are you going to clean it? I don't know. Why not? All right. That's 20 minutes for that. And while I'm waiting on that, I will take the stem out of solution and get it buffed up. Well, I had to back up a little bit on what I said I was going to do. That is continuing to soak with the cleaner on it, briar cleaner on it. I did take the stem out of solution, but I forgot I've got to repair that before I do anything else on it. So uh, I've fixed worse, but that's not a good thing. So that'll be the next thing I do on the stem. All right, I've just got some water in this little cup and I'm going to scrub it for 3 minutes. All right, 3 minutes is up. Let's see what this looks like. Well, I can tell we didn't get it all. Like I said, we're going to be sanding this one, although even though this looks very simple, the shape and everything, because the way this is rolled on top of the bowl, that's actually going to be a little tough to sand down. Let's take a little closer look. It did a pretty good job, but I can actually see a little low spot right there where they've just, I guess, beat it on the side of an ashtray. Alrighty, well, the next step will be to start sanding on it. Well, first thing I'll do is I'm going to get this bottom. And this was actually some old Scotch tape that was on there. Not sure why a piece of Scotch tape was on there, but it was. Apparently the bottom of this bowl wasn't exactly flat, or bottom of the stummel. Well, it's about to get flatter. Well, got a lot of sanding ahead of me, so I will check back. The stummel is now ready to be buffed. I'm not going to put any dye on this. I'm going to just let it go natural and just put some carnauba wax on it. I still got a dark spot right here. I'm not sure how far I'd have to go, but I've got also in there's a dent or a little ding and another one there. And I just have to sand this down quite a bit. And while this looks like a simple design, that is a pain in the rear end to get sanded up. So we're going to leave those little dings there and that little dark spot there and another one right here. So let's put some carnauba wax on it. Let's turn our attention back to the stem. Let's see what we can do with that two chunks that are knocked out. All right, first thing we'll do is clean up this area a little bit. And I'll just use my manicurist drill. Okay, what I've got to do, I'm gonna repair one side at a time, but I want to block the G-Flex from going from one side to the other. So I'm going to use this little piece of cardstock and coat it with a Vaseline-like substance. This is 1 part beeswax to 6 parts olive oil, ounce of beeswax to 6 ounces of olive oil. And it's a great wood conditioner. I use it for a lot of different things. Now I'm going to start with the resin and I'm going to color it. It'll be way too much, but it's hard to dispense it any smaller. And this is a epoxy dye pigment. That ought to be enough. Now, if this was an acrylic stem, I would use CA glue, super glue. But since this is a vulcanite stem, I need to use a different product, and this has a little bit of a flex built into it. That should do it. Gotta make sure I get enough down that front edge. All right, we're going to let that dry. Let's check in what we've got so far. So this is the top, where the top piece is broken out. And so now let's fill into this bottom. I would think that should be enough. And I need to keep that kind of flat. Well, not flat, but just in place. So let's employ this little rascal. Don't really need any real pressure on it to hold it. Just want to keep it in that position right there. Well, we'll just have to see how it turns out. Try to make sure I don't have a low spot. See what that looks like overnight, and we'll get back at it tomorrow. All right, the epoxy should be good and dry. So the next phase will be to file it and sand it down. File work and sanding is done, so off to the buffer. Here's the finished pipe. I think it turned out pretty well. The repair on the stem, you really can't see that at all. So that matched up really well. I think I need to buff the stem one more time. The conversion to 9mm went just fine. And now for the stummel, I did not dye it at all after I sanded it all the way down. This is just a natural briar with some carnauba wax on it. Thank you for sharing your time with me today, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye.